Some of the faces from the Gold Cup and White Gold Challenge. This week we're at the last major sporting event of the year. One of the country's best Olympic trap shots, Aaron Heading, is dressing up like the Michelin Man, and Charlie Jacoby is heading to the east of the country to visit a clay ground. Welcome to Claysports. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning and already the clay shooting company's ground at Westfield in Gloucestershire is filling up with competitors keen to take part in today's competitions. Win a £1,000 cash prize and the glory of being on the list of winners of either of two top British clay shooting trophies. We've yet to leave the car park and here is a 5-stand 20-bird pull shoot promising £125 for the high gun. But we're here today for something a little more prestigious, as David Scott from Gamebore explains.
We've got the White Gold Challenge and Gamebore Gold Cup running this weekend. The White Gold Challenge is the culmination of the competitions that we've run throughout the year to find the finalists, and we've had the fantastic weather for the third year running, which is fantastic. We brought it back because it was extraordinarily popular and people enjoyed it. It was the final shoot in the calendar. There's a bit of a party atmosphere to it. It was always very, very well attended, and we like to bring something back into shooting. Sponsoring events is very, very key to what Gamebore do. Obviously we like to sell the product to the consumers, but we like to put something back into shooting in terms of competitions, and obviously we've been here in strength with the new sort of Gamebore village setup that we've got for hospitality and bringing people in, and it's just adding to that sort of buzz. I mean, you've seen how many people have been here today. There's that sort of really good atmosphere which is great in shooting. We want people to come back and do it more.
Of the two competitions being shot today, we will come back to the Gamebore Gold Cup. What we're here to see now are the shooters battling it out for a place in the shoot-off at the White Gold Challenge. Challengers are split into two categories, gold and silver, and are put through their paces in groups of 5. The top 8 in each category go through to compete in the afternoon final. As can be expected with shooters of this level, there's a scramble for the last few places in both categories, and shootouts are required to determine the clear winners. Here is Richard Bunning, who secured his place in the gold category after a shoot-off.
I scraped through there. I had a shoot-off. We all tied, 3 of us tied, so we just shot off. And I managed to beat them, so 1 ahead, so that's good. So I'm through the first round. The first round's always a bad one. I was confident going into it. If I got a good start, I'd be alright, and I did, so that was good. Yeah, I think I shoot better in a shoot-off. I think it's easier to concentrate under pressure, and yeah, I'll tell you later. But it should be alright, it should be good. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, that's the main thing.
With the competitors selected, it's up to event organiser Steve Lovett to rearrange the course for the afternoon's final. He laid out the Gold Cup course today. It is the final of the competition that has been running for most of the year. Gold Cup stands range from classic sporting targets to this industrial-looking high rabbit stand. Among shooters is our very own Andy Crow. Back to the White Gold Challenge, and Steve explains how he resurrected a competition that was once an essential part of the clay shooting calendar.
This is my favourite ground, Westfield. We set this up from scratch really, from completely nothing. Built it up as we've gone. It took us 10 years to get where we are here today, and it's just local to us. It's an ideal place in the country and it just works well. I had a chat with Paul James. We met for lunch one day and we were just chatting in general how we could take things forward, and I said, well, how about we resurrect the White Gold? And he said, yeah. He said, pick it up, run with it and see what you can do. So we did. I made it fair, hopefully, for the silver people, the B and C class shooters, and made it a little bit trickier for the gold, the top boys. From the whole event, from all 3 days, has been fantastic. Really, really excellent feedback. Thanks to Gamebore, Paul James and Lydia have been absolute stars. Their support's always there, anything we need. And also I've got to thank Promatic Traps for their support, and clays and traps, and their backup service is second to none.
With the course now built, the White Gold Challenge proper can begin. Each competitor shoots a series of random pairs against an opponent with both gold and silver categories competing at the same time. Winners move forward to the subsequent rounds. It isn't long before the shootouts start, determining winners. The gold final brings together Ben Huswaite versus Stuart Ems, and in the silver category, Mark Watson versus Richard Formosa. The winners of each category take home a £1,000 cash prize.
Runner-up, Richard Formosa on 14 in silver, and the winner is Mark Watson. Well shot. Mark, don't go anywhere. And in the gold, we have the runner-up on 14, Stuart Ems, and the winner, Ben Huswaite on 16. Well shot.
There can only be one name on the White Gold Challenge trophy, so there is everything to play for.
Cool. How did you two manage that?
They end up having 3 shoot-offs. Is it fatigue? Is it the blinding autumn sun? Is it a simple error? Mark gives the crown to Ben, and this with a suspected broken bone.
I've not shot since the British Open in the middle of the rugby season now, so I think I fractured my arm yesterday and I couldn't have it cast last night because of the shoot, so I'm going to hospital straight from here. It's always good here, you know, with Gamebore and Steve and the Clay Shooting Company coming together, you're only going to get a first class event, so you know, it's the last one of the year, but it's probably one of the best of the year, so it's something we all look forward to.
Both the Gamebore Gold Cup and the White Gold Challenge are taking place next year. If you want to take part in either, go to the website. A terrific attendance at the Gold Cup and White Gold Challenge. Next, there are many layers to Aaron Heading.
Today's challenge. Aaron Heading. Oh yeah. Gun fit is very important. Yeah. Are you able to shoot targets wrapped in a duvet? What am I going to get? Actually, I know a lot of shooters that shape themselves around guns. So this is actually a very productive challenge. I am a professional shooter and I tend to shoot in the same clothing time and time again. And it's very important, especially to myself, that I shoot with the least layers on as possible. This is the reason why. When I put the gun in, there is no movement in the clothing when the gun comes in. And when I put my head on the stock stays very tightly into the shoulder. With many layers on, what can happen is the gun moves under or around in the shoulder whilst mounting. When I mount my gun, I move my face in a very peculiar manner. Something like that. Okay, this is purely because of the reason of my stock. A trap stock. The trap stock is a lot higher and a lot thicker than other guns like sporting guns and things like that. When you see sporting shooters, they won't do this face movement to get on top of the gun. Okay, the gun will naturally come to the cheek and shoulder at the same time, where a lot of trap shooters put the gun in the shoulder, then place the head onto the gun. Unfortunately, I'm a trap shooter, not a sporting shooter. So adding the duvet to the equation, this is going to make things a lot harder for me. So let's see how we get on. Okay. Pair dead. I've had to push the gun into me so much harder, and I've not even been able to get the head on the stock. Well, that one didn't go to plan. Oh! Oh, balls of dust to finish. Come on.
Thank you, Aaron. Now we find out what's going on in the world of clay shooting. It's time for Roundup.
It's our Clay Roundup, 1 minute of what's going on in the world of clay shooting. Tim Neal won a silver medal at the Lenato World Championships and a Rio 2016 quota place for Great Britain in double trap. The GB shooting team now has a total of 6 Olympic places, 5 of which are in the shotgun disciplines. The CPSA has a range of young shots days on offer this autumn. Half-term sees introductions to clay pigeon shooting or a refresher for youngsters who have shot once or twice before, and includes all instruction, clays, cartridges, use of a suitable shotgun, lunch where applicable, and refreshments. Prices from £40 per person. Email richard@cpsa.co.uk for more. If you are a young shot and you want to win a car, there is still time. Visit theschoolschallenge.co.uk. The National Inter-County Sporting is on Sunday the 4th of October 2015 at Doveridge in the Midlands. It will be unsquadded and entrants must book in between 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. In West Sussex on the 3rd and 4th of October, the South of England Showground at Ardingly hosts its autumn show and game fair with shooting run by Dan Kerwood of Northall Clay Pigeon Club. These pictures of course come from the South of England show run in June. If you would like us to tell the world about your charity, shoot or event this autumn or winter, contact me with details on the picture or video, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
Next, Charlie Jacoby is off to visit High Lodge Shooting Ground in Suffolk.
John Bidwell is one of the top shots of his generation with a string of championship wins, including 7 sporting world championships. He also runs High Lodge Shooting Ground in Suffolk.
Well, we've got a wonderful sporting layout of every day we've got at least 25 traps working. We've got about 150 machines, I suppose, clay traps on the site in various sporting variations, and also got the skeet, 4 skeet ranges, although we only use 2 of them these days, and compact and down the line, and we're in the process of putting ABT in.
High Lodge held the English Open Sporting in May. We filmed a full report on that. But John says the greatest number of shooters he gets through the door these days are new to the sport.
We have a big influx of new people coming through, lessons and stuff like that, so we've concentrated on developing the ground on that basis, really, with bringing more people into the sport.
This is not just a clay ground, as John's youngest daughter Helen, who's on the staff, explains.
We've got a clay shooting school, and we've got a 9-hole golf course. We also play foot golf on it now as well. We've got fishing lake, and we've got 15 holiday lodges, and we've also got planning now for another 32 holiday lodges for new development.
So when people come here, they don't just come here for the shooting, do they?
No, they don't. No, they come for a family day out, for a getaway, and just for a leisurely day out.
One of the best known faces in the British gun trade, Edward King, who imports AYAs and Rossinis and is Gun Trade Association chairman, is based nearby. He uses High Lodge to show off his wares.
I think certainly in terms of the technicality of the targets, this is up there with the top. John is able to put on some very, very high quality targets. Not just variety, but the technical part of it is good. So demanding for every level. I come here for fun, yes. Yeah. And we do come here corporately, mainly to test guns when we've been doing servicing and repairs and so on. So it's jolly handy to be able to shoot them at targets which would be the sort of targets that they will be used on in real life.
John has his connections with the gun trade too. He was a Browning shooter and then switched horses to Blaser. He explains what happened.
Unfortunately, Browning didn't live up to the commitments which they promised. So one thing went wrong. 2 things went wrong there. So I decided to make a move at the age of 55. When someone knocked on the door and said, there's an opportunity, you just say, well, what do? Do you take it or leave it? So I see an opportunity to move forward and with a new company, and I'm glad I did so. And then they come up, Trump's with brilliant products, no question about it. I've shot the gun now for 14 years. I think it's got 12 years now I've been involved with Browning since I started, and shot and won the world championships in the veterans with the prototype.
Of course he means Blaser. For more about all the activities at High Lodge, go to highlodge.co.uk.
Thank you, Charlie. That's it from Clay Sports. We'll be back in a month. See you then.